Hey there guys, what's up? Francis and Dad here. Welcome to my channel and the program. So today I'd like to expose some facts and truths regarding the lives of Chinese MGTOW youths here in China. Well, despite of their severely depleted financial conditions, they still manage to work between the angles to find themselves sanctuaries and shelters away from the outside hostile capitalism world. So without further ado, please allow me to show you why it is so, why I can hardly imagine how they managed to attain this ultimate wet dream of MGTOW in America, in the rest of the Western world countries. Let's do a search for this keyword. Mandarin characters pronounced as Sanhe dasan. We can also try to pronounce these characters in Japanese, pronounced as Mitsuwa no Ogami. Mitsuwa no Ogami. Press here, and we can see lots of search results. Google has yielded my gosh, more than 5 million result entries. So, well, and I did a search on the major Chinese social media such as Baidu Jeba, and apparently this dude, he apparently only carries 750 yuan, 750 RMB, and he said he spent all his money on trying to find himself a job. So he just had to go to the Mitsuwa in Shenzhen or Sanhe to kill the time to make a living. And he posts this. I don't know how much I can last. Sorry, I don't know how long I can last with this much of money, 750 yuan in Sanhe. And he is looking for some day jobs, some casual jobs that can get him paid on a daily basis. And he is looking for some advice from his senpai. Okay, lots of opinions here, and what else? So you can see here this particular Baidu page has more than 100,000 of followers and more than 100,000 of post entries. And see what do they have here? What they have here? So if you ask me why they just don't bother looking for some full-time job, some highly skilled full-time jobs that can pay them, can pay for a decent salary to a pathway of decent living or decent standard of living. They just, their ideology is you work for one day, you can just chill for 3 days. So they simply work soft and play hard. That's pretty much their primarily ideology and ideology as well as a philosophy of life. Because they don't work full time, so they don't actually have any savings in their bank accounts. They don't have any assets or tangible assets as well, or they simply enjoy a life of how do I translate this? They just want to be as happy as a bird without the burden of too much asset, without the liability of a full-time job. They just hate working for someone, for anyone, unless absolutely necessary, unless absolutely have to go to work to make a living. Else they will never go to the recruitment seminar and get themselves a job. And yet they still enjoy they still enjoy the time they spend at Sanhe or MGTOW in Shenzhen. What else? Every time they, on their way becoming a on their way of becoming a kami-sama or god of net cafe refugee, they all once or twice sold their national ID card, and without an ID card, they forfeit their human rights. They can't get their legally entitled medical attention. They can't, nor can they find legally registered as well as regulated accommodation, or condoms. They can't breed. They can't go abroad and study or for work just because of a national ID card. They can't enjoy human rights as they are legally entitled. And once in MGTOW, Sanhe, you can pretty much basically sell your national ID for 100 yuan, 100 RMB, and then you can spend your time. You can spend your luxurious moment for 3 days there. After that, you can still be a human, enjoy all the legally entitled rights. You can just spend 5 yuan RMB in the local net cafe, and you can just spend 30 yuan, 30 RMB to find yourself a hooker and release your sexual hormones. Yeah, pretty much. So the commentary here, the commentary written here, we can basically translate this like what else? You just have to sell your national ID card to become the kami-sama of this particular MGTOW district. Yeah. So you see this place. Take a good look at this place. What are they saying? Basically, they get paid for 15 bucks. Sorry, not 15 bucks. 15 yuan per hour, which includes their accommodation and food allowance. What else? Just 8 yuan for 1 night stay, including Wi-Fi, drinking water, not boiling, but just hot water, television, of course. You can see their living condition is pretty much like this. That really, yeah. So we can also consider this particular type of social group as the perhaps as somebody may perceive the Chinese style of MGTOW, Chinese style of MGTOW living, without having to spend too much money. Yeah. So how do you feel? Exactly how do you feel after having watched that cutscene? Well, it's hard for me to put into plain English words to describe exactly how I feel. First of all, I do really sympathize for them, and all things considered, I once thought that I am a man of no worth, a man of no competency or strength or capability to attain my own, to attain my own goals, or to make my own exodus out of this Hikikomori status. But then after seeing this, I began to find more hope. Just take a good look at those people. Some of them, they possess a very high rank, high level of skills to excel at what they do and what they enjoy doing, and yet they still choose to spend as little money as possible to live in those nasty, foul places, foul net cafe and hotels, and and they absolutely have no plans or no intentions to get married or to breed their own children. They just simply put, they just work to live instead of living to work. Perhaps sometime later I do need to make a prayer video for these dudes, because I do feel them. I can understand their desperation, frustration, and I'd like to somehow transmit the gospel, the good news from God to them. I do believe somehow this message of good news will reach them, and it should have little difficulty in reaching you guys. So don't feel too depressed and too frustrated, because look at those people with pretty much absolutely utterly no money, no savings, no places of their own to to have a roof over their heads. Yeah, just stop complaining and start taking actions. Or at least start making plans for taking further actions. And I sincerely hope those folks who still got either heavily or severely entrenched and stranded in depression, social anxiety, just trust me or trust God. It will end soon. It will end soon, as long as you let it. So thank you again for watching and listening. I'm your host, Francis Undead. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post it below this video clip. I shall try to answer to each and every one of them. So I shall see you on the next video on YouTube. Have a great day or great night. Stay faithful, stay tuned, stay blessed. Cheers.